Now we have our first and probably maybe our only guest. I'm not quite sure if we're getting any more people coming in, but as promised in the introduction, we have our chairman, who's been working very, very hard in the last few weeks within the ground. In fact, he was working when I came to the ground. Welcome once again, Richie. How are you feeling? Knackered?
Yeah, no, it's been all right. We were at the weekend doing some running some more cables and.
The stand up now looks pretty smart out there, doesn't it? With that stand behind the goal and.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. Yeah, well, hopefully we're going to replicate that behind the Morrison's end. So,
really?
Yeah.
Is that going to go all the way along, or just behind like the goal?
Well, we were initially thinking about adding to the town end, so making it 600, and then we kind of sat back on Sunday and thought, well, actually we're going to put 2 more in. We may as well put 2 in at this end. The cost is the same, so it makes no difference where we put them. But aesthetically, it'd be better, I think, to improve the Morrison's end.
It does look good, to be fair. And
it does.
Those watching tonight who aren't at this game will be able to see that the stand's there and hopefully generate some atmosphere in there.
You can definitely make some noise. You can definitely bang against the sides. We've already had.
Won't need a drum, will we? So.
No, the residents unhappy about us erecting that. So we've already had our first complaint, and it's not even been opened yet. So
there's always one, isn't there? And we seem to attract those pretty quickly. But well, last time you were on, a little while ago, we talked about various grounds, Rockingham Road and Avondale. And still, there's nothing official,
continues.
Is there? The search
continues. No. I mean, realistically, we haven't heard anything, and in these situations, no news is not good news. They're obviously negotiating with somebody. We know that the Avondale site, a developer has been down and measured and things like that. So that's we're not holding out, expecting anything to come.
Is that frustrating for you, Richie? Certainly with the amount of effort you put into the Avondale.
Not really, because at the end of the day, it's a commercial decision. We were surprised that obviously we sent our own surveyor down to give us a value of what we thought the land was worth to a builder. So not what it was worth to a football club, but how much we thought commercially on the market it would be worth. So we knew what we were bidding against. And when the figure came out, what they were looking for it.
Another naught added on, was it?
Yeah, quite a few. I mean, we've had it at around 1.2, and when it was marketed at 2.6.
Wow.
So if somebody did pay that, we don't know. Obviously it's a closed bid. We don't know what somebody paid, but good luck to them if they think they can get a return on that investment. She said
they just prior to that we're looking elsewhere. Is the Burton site, this site, is that in your plans at all?
It's not our site.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I don't think this would make a good long-term home for the club, if I'm honest.
Why is that?
Because we couldn't build the ground. Because we're, as you've seen already, we put a modest 300 standing terrace up, and we've had complaints today from local residents. For us to put a full match day stadium on, something erring on the side of Rocky Road, so substantially more seating, substantially more terrace,
and permanent as well.
And permanent, yeah. I think we'd have a lot of objections from the local residents for us doing that.
So that's going to put your field of search then all over the borough then, isn't it? Because we've had many obstacles in the past thrown up by various councillors and councils, etc. How's the relationship A with the council at the moment, and B, is there anything semi-concrete in the future of the site?
No, the council. I think personally the relationship's good with the council. They've been. All we want is honesty from people, just to tell us
where we stand.
What the situation is. So, no, they've helped. They've identified a couple of sites. We've investigated those sites. We've spoken to the builders that are building on those sites. We spoke to some landowners of other sites, and as yet we've not come to an amicable agreement where we can find a home. But the council are not being obstructive. They are actively trying to help us find a site. Currently. There's an election looming, so you never know what's going to happen.
Not that old adage.
Well, it is important that to be fair, all of the political parties in Kettering have come out and supported us. There are some councillors who are more vocal about supporting the club, and we don't want to politicalise the club. Don't want to choose a party. That's not what football's about. But there are some councillors that are pro the club. And hopefully they will get re-elected.
There are two sites that always crop up in conversations: the Cohen's Yard at Broughton,
being built on. I think if anyone that's been past it recently will see that there's movement on that site now.
And also the land behind the Holiday Inn on the other side of the town, up by Prologis Park,
which is where Imran had originally looked at.
Yes.
We literally one of the first things that that I did when I took over the club was actually look into that piece of land, and the price that they want is
astronomical, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know whether that was because it was Kettering Town Football Club and there was a history behind it or whatever, but it was development costs, and as a club we can't compete. We're not going to build 50, 60, 100, 500 houses on a piece of land, so we don't get our return. We want a big open space where you could probably put a small cul-de-sac of houses. So it's dead to us. We can't go in to a commercial property environment. We need either a landowner that wants to be sympathetic to us, or where we can fulfil an element of 106 from a larger build, so someone has to provide facilities for the community. So that's what we're looking for, either scratch arable land where we could hope that we could get planning consent to put something on, or to be part of a larger
consortium,
a larger project. Yeah.
What is frustrating, Rich, is the other side from the Holiday Inn. There are two grounds or two pitches already laid out, which is where the scout hut is, and by all accounts they won't allow floodlighting to actually go up there because it said it interferes with the countryside. But when you consider the amount of sheds that are there from the various massive distribution centres,
I think it's something to do with some some owl or something that's going to get interfered with by. Yeah, I mean the light pollution that comes off of that whole Prologis site.
It's incredible, isn't it? Well, I work there, and it's amazing.
We know that Kettering FC potentially looked at that site, and there are issues with that site, to be honest. It's got two pitches. There's only two sets of changing rooms. So how can you have more than one game on at a time? So it's not ideal for anybody.
And the pitch is really just marked out. It's never been used as a football pitch. The whole
no,
site
because it's the last time I had a look at that site, myself and Gary Graham went up and had a look at it. It was more like shingle than grass. Yeah.
So you need a lot of work going into that one.
Yeah.
But, so that's an ongoing project then. So we're going to be here for at least probably 5 years or so.
We've got 3 years left.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always said, and we said to anybody that we'd love to stay at Burton or Latimer Park because we think it'd be a great base for development. Yeah. So we're starting with our apprenticeships in September. They will be based here. So we see this as a very good development stroke academy base. And in the short term, perfectly adequate for our first team to play. But should we go up the leagues, we start looking at Conference Prem, we would, I think, struggle.
I think we'd struggle with the
a hell of a lot
with the
more,
North, wouldn't we, as well?
A lot more support from the.
But I think Conference North and South would also struggle with the. I think the ground grading is far higher than the Southern League Prem, isn't it? So
you get away with what we've got here if you look at the number of seats we've got and the number of terraces.
Right, that's good then, isn't it?
It's there's no requirement to segregate, which would be a problem here. Corby, you've only got, I can't remember, we've got 500 seats.
Yeah.
So we're not far off that now.
No, especially with that stand in there as well. Of course, that stand could be extended all the way across, couldn't it? As you said, and behind there.
Yeah. Well, in effect, that modular system that we have is what we are proposing to move to use around the ground.
And that can be moved as well, can't it? I looked at it to be unbolted and taken with it.
It is temporary.
It isn't a permanent structure.
The only thing that's permanent is the concrete that it sits on.
That's fine then, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Right, that's with the ground, so let's talk about the team, etc. Have you calmed down now?
Slightly, yeah. I was not a happy chappy after the...
I think many people were that happy on Saturday after that performance.
Yeah.
But the team, though, with 9 points clear and a game in hand, it certainly is a great position to be in, isn't it? And we've done really well, really, to continue the success from last season.
Yeah, we've built on, we've pushed on, but no disrespect to any of the players or any of the managers, but we are where we think we should be given the amount of budget that we have. We can't get away from it.
No.
We don't have the largest budget, but we have one of the largest budgets.
We're talking to some people, or seeing some people we have, haven't we?
We definitely don't. But you can look at nearly never clubs that have got good budgets every year and always make the playoffs and never progress. So we were very, very keen for two things this season. One, not to lose the core of the squad, because we had a very, very good squad.
Which happened, didn't it? We
absolutely
kept them.
Yeah, which I think has been helped with the success, and two, not to not to get too carried away with ego. We've got a big budget and things like that, and keep the guys, keep the squad focused on what they need to do on a match by match basis, and that really does mean enforcing in them. Like in any environment, if your boss wants you to work harder, he gives you more pressure. You've got to meet this demand, and Saturday was just nowhere near good enough. The whole we gained a point does not. Exactly. We only gained a point because other people failed.
That's right.
We didn't succeed.
If Bedworth had won their game,
we would have been in a very different position.
Exactly. And tonight's also very important because we can gradually get even further away from the protection pack, isn't it? So
a 4-game buffer.
Yeah.
Is what, with 8 to go.
Yeah.
So you've got
I was,
4 games there that.
Looking at some of the attendances and. Kettering Town, actually, every team we've played against, bar one, is the highest attendance Kettering Town. It's incredible, and the only teams that we haven't actually beaten their attendances yet, we still have to play. So it's a fabulous achievement by the fans that go and watch it.
You can't beat it. I mean, the one thing that Kettering Town has is heart and support. We saw it at the Corby time, the last days of Nen Park. You were still getting a core 300 odd fans coming through.
It's one of the most dismal results of all time.
Absolutely, and they stuck with the club through thick and thin, and hopefully, they're getting some reward now. And the fact that we're all moaning and arguing about a loss when we're sitting top of the league, I don't think it's arrogant. I think it's.
It's usual for Kettering, I think, to moan about anything. I think. So.
Yeah, but we want this, and we want the momentum. We want the fans are a big lift to the club. Not just financially because they come through the gate, but the players. Even bringing players in. If you've got a player that you're going after, the likes of Colo. When we were courting Colo, look, we really want you to come. Even get into to a contract stage, it makes a big difference. Saying, well, okay, go back. To playing in front of, I don't know what their season high was. What was their average?
Well, their average is around 241.
Right. So where would you prefer to play? In front of 600 or in front of 200?
And that's the highest game.
Absolutely. And no disrespect to those teams, but we know that there's a sleeping fan base within inside the town that we haven't managed to entice to come back to the club yet. As we rise up the leagues and we provide a better product, terracing is important, standard of the burgers is important, the toilets, everything that needs to be in place to make it an enjoyable day out for somebody. People won't have seen behind the back of stands where slabbing is going down and concrete is going down to make it easier for people to move around.
Cables underneath the slabbings, etc. As you were doing.
Yes, yeah.
Not only is Ritchie the chairman, he was there today and on Sunday digging up channels and putting cables in to get better Wi-Fi and all sorts of things.
I'm looking forward to the time that the chairman just rocks up and watches the games. But
a glasses of bread and
a few more leagues up, I think we'll get there.
Well, hopefully, Richie, we're going to have our annual Player Presentation Awards, and that's going to be at Wicksteed Park, which you'll all be able to come and see. Should be a great night.
I hope so.
We've got bands and
a damp squib like last year's. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty good last year, though, wasn't it? I thought.
After the first couple of bottles, yeah, it was very enjoyable. But this year hopefully we'll have a lot to celebrate.
Yes, I think you're right, and with all the younger teams coming through as well, it should be a great night. So, and now I'm not going to say too much, but what's your prediction for tonight then?
They haven't lost away for eight games or something.
8 games.
So this will be their first. I think we'll do them 3.
They haven't played away until they lost the last away game at Royston, but they hadn't played away the last 5.
Polo's chomping at the bit.
Also, we haven't lost on a Tuesday night at home. So. Have I said it? I haven't said it, but okay, Richie, that's great to have you in once again, and no doubt we'll have you back on the last game of the season against Bedworth. I'm sure that will be a great home game for us. And so there you have Ritchie Jeune there, the chairman of Kettering Town, giving you all the latest news and gossip concerning Kettering Town. And